Effie, not now, sweetie. Not now. I'm not joking. Hey guys, it looks like we might be having some problems with some of the new YouTube changes that have gone on integrating with the website. I'm not quite sure what the deal is, but I'm going to keep going. So I'll give this a minute for everybody to get on before we get started. But you can watch this in YouTube. So hopefully that will work for folks. I'll put this in the Facebook page. Turn embedding on. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening here. I'm going to try for a minute to get this figured out before we just move forward. What's happening here? I'm going to try to. Ah, I think I found the setting, but it doesn't allow me to do it. Okay, so we're going to have to watch this in YouTube, it looks like, because the button to click Allow Embedding is not available. So I apologize. So let's just grab this link and make this available so everybody can watch this in YouTube. Okay. So I do apologize, guys. It looks like I know I've used YouTube for doing some live stuff myself, and they've changed some things recently. So it looks like there might be something going on with that, but we can we can do this. We can just do it within YouTube. I know we've had to do that with Jeff before as well. So hopefully we'll get all of these kinks worked out here. Okay, so I'm just going to share this. Okay. All right, and I'm going to post this in our group, and then let's go ahead and get started because we're already 5 after, and I do really apologize, everybody, for the confusion. Okay, because we got a lot to cover on Instagram. It's a great platform. Okay. So hopefully we're able to still get some action and help out some folks and get you guys going with YouTube. So all right, my name is Leah Getz. I am a partner in this with my husband, who is hiding in another room, doing other parts of our business right now. We have a babysitter occupying our son outside. So, you know, this is real life stuff. I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and this is working from home, right? The benefits of working from home. So, I have had my husband and I moved our business online about a year ago. We started focusing on online lead generation, building our presence online. And our very first success was on Instagram. That was where we really first started generating leads. We consistently were able to get signups, and so it has a very special place in my heart. Now, it is not our main strategy at this point in the game, but it is a great strategy. It's a very visual platform, and I think it's a great place for a lot of people to start. Instagram is super easy. You can spend, 10 minutes a day on Instagram. Like at this point, I'm spending 10 minutes a day on Instagram. That's it. 10 minutes, and we're generating like 5 leads a day on Instagram. So I love the platform. I think it's a great place to be. And that being said, I'm going to try to share my screen here. I did do a PowerPoint because I'm nerdy like that. So I'm going to try to share that with you guys and kind of walk you through Instagram and how to use it for building your business. Okay. So I am going to do a screen share, PowerPoint slideshow. Okay. All right. So hopefully y'all can see my screen. You can see my PowerPoint. Okay, Michelle from Hawaii. Good. I'm seeing. Thank you, Daniel. All right. Awesome. Okay. So people are hearing and seeing. I know we do have a small crew because we have some awesome technical issues, which is always fun. So, all right. So building your business on Instagram. Now, there's a lot of ways to build your business. Just a quick disclaimer, this is how Todd and I build our business. You know, it works for us, and we coach people and we teach people how to do this. We use the concept of attraction marketing. So this may be different from other methods that you've learned, other things that other people have taught, but I can only teach you what's working for us and what we've learned along the way in our journey over the last year or so online. So, I'm not saying that other people are wrong, anything like that, but I can share with you what works for us, what we've been taught, and what we teach and coach other people as well. Okay, so Instagram. Now, with attraction marketing, which is the concept that Todd and I work with, it's about attracting people to you, right? And it's all about leading with value. People hate commercials. If you had a TV channel that was nothing but commercials, what would you do? You'd change the channel, right? No one likes commercials. So if what you're posting online is commercial-y, if it looks like a pitch, if it smells like a pitch, people don't like it, right? So you need to know who is your target audience, who are you talking to, and provide them value. Okay, so I personally have 2 different Instagram accounts. Now, one I'm much more active on than the other. However, I have a very specific audience for each. Okay, so my main account, my target audience is entrepreneurs. I'm looking to generate leads of entrepreneurs that I will be able to introduce to our business opportunity. Now, I also have a secondary account that I just kind of play with on the side when I have some extra time. However, and that one is geared towards customers. Okay, because our customer base and our distributor target audience is very different. It is, sorry if you can hear my son in the background there, he's getting annoyed with being outside. Um, so knowing who your target audience is, because a group of entrepreneurs, people who are looking to build a business online, looking for how to make money online, that's going to be very different than necessarily someone who's looking for the health benefits or someone who's looking for the environmental benefits or whatever else as a customer. Okay, so know exactly who your target audience is. You know, of the 4 steps of marketing that I know they went over at the conference, Erin and everybody, you know, that's identifying your target audience, right? So identify your target audience and then speak to them, provide them value. Okay, so what sort of information would they like? And then one sort of overarching rule with Instagram as well is that it's a visual platform, so it needs to be visually appealing. If your stuff is ugly, it's not going to get likes. And things should be very visually appealing. People should enjoy looking at your stuff. So I think some people sort of forget that sometimes. So I wanted to throw that in there because it is really what Instagram is about, right? Okay, so getting started. Some very basics with setting up your profile. So, you know, brand yourself across, and this is what we teach everybody that works with us in the whole online marketing world. Brand yourself the same across all social media platforms. So if you've got a Facebook fan page, Facebook profile, Google Plus, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, you should try to get the same username on all the different platforms. Now, I realize that that's not always possible, but that should be your goal. And when we bring people on, we tell them to claim their real estate. Okay, even if you're not going to work Twitter, Google Plus, whatever right now, go in there and grab your username so that you'll have it later on when you're ready for it. Okay, so claim your real estate and brand, use the same username, use your same name across all different platforms. Okay. Number 2, professional looking profile picture. Now, I don't know how many times I see people on Instagram or other social media sites, and they have the company that they're affiliated with, like for us, that'd be a Magic, as their actual logo for their image. Well, people, you know, that people have to know, like, and trust you if they're going to spend $5 grand on a machine, right? And so if you're just showing a picture of a magic, you're a nobody, right? They have to feel, you have to work on building that know, like, and trust factor with your audience. And so having a professional looking picture is very important. Okay, and then I would also sync your picture, your profile picture, the same across all the social media platforms as well. So if you run into someone in Facebook and then you run into them on Instagram, they're able to start remembering who you are, right? Very, very helpful with building your business across multiple platforms. Okay, utilize your bio. Some people kind of forget about this real estate. There is a section in Instagram for your bio. Utilize it. Now I'm going to jump. Okay, here's an example. So this is when I say bio. Now these are screenshots from my computer view of Instagram. Obviously, this is different if you're looking at it from your phone, which most of Instagram is done solely on a phone. So, but utilize the bio. You got like 150 characters here to talk about yourself and what you have to offer the person. Okay. Always speak to what can you do for them, right? What's in it for them. Okay. So utilize that. You know, here at the top one, this is our main account. We have over 16,000 followers on Instagram, and we have and we're specifically generating leads of entrepreneurs. So we're providing value that speaks to entrepreneurs. This bottom one here, this is sort of our playground. When I have time, which isn't very often, this is what I do is work on my customer-based Instagram profile. Okay, so helping people improve their health and lives, learn to what changing water can do for you. Okay. So that's just a quick example of bios. Now, utilizing that bio link is really important because if you don't have a link to capture your capture your contact information, to convert your audience into leads, to take the next step, it's sort of a waste, right? If you're doing all this work to set up this great Instagram account and to provide content to your audience and grow the know, like, and trust factor, but you don't have any way to get their contact information, you're really wasting your time, because you want to get them on the phone. You want to take it to the next level. Okay, so like with our my Alkalized Life account, this is that bit.ly link is actually set up. It'll show them the water demo, right? The water demo video. In our one up on top, we actually have a free giveaway, right, for our main entrepreneur geared account, where we're giving a free training away in exchange for people's contact information. And then we're getting their contact information, then we follow up with them and see if we can introduce them to PLP. So, overall, with all the different social media strategies that we have, we generate up to 30 leads a day, Todd and I. Now, Instagram, I'd say consistently about five leads a day that we're getting on Instagram, and that's virtually on autopilot. So, 5 leads a day, that's can make a big difference for somebody, especially when you're just getting started. Okay. When you are first getting started, you're really launching your Instagram page, go ahead and leverage your other accounts. So if you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, whatever, let your audience know that you're just setting up shop on Instagram, and invite them to follow you and check you out on Instagram. Okay? All right, let me quick check the comments here. I'm going to refresh. Feel free to comment, ask questions, everything as we go along, guys. Awesome. Good, Michelle. I'm glad you're excited for this. Instagram is a great place. So I'm happy to be training on this. It's one of the main platforms that we work on. So awesome. All right. So we went through kind of what this looks like, setting up your bio. I always like to lead with value in my bio and in a giveaway, and capturing leads. Now, there's a lot of different services and different things and tools you can use to do that. That's what we have a system of tools that we use. That's how we're giving away free training, and we have the infrastructure to do that. But you don't need that. Like in the Alkalized Life account here, where I'm specifically speaking to consumers, I'm just going right into the water demo. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways you can do that, but the goal of that bio link is to have them take the next step. You're getting their contact information, or you're introducing them to what you're doing. Okay. All right, daily method of operation. So now you have your account set up. So what do you actually do on Instagram on a day-to-day basis? Okay, I suggest posting 2 to 5 times a day. Okay, so some peak times. There was a study that I read, and it actually said 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern time and 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern time are peak times of interaction and viewing on Instagram. Okay. Also, you want to spread your posts out throughout your day. If you just bang out 5 posts, right in a row between 12:30 and 1 p.m. in the afternoon, well, you're only going to show up in the news feeds of those people that are on at that time. Okay. There are some cool changes that have happened with the algorithm, or the logic that Instagram uses to see how long your stuff shows up in people's news feeds, or their timeline or whatever when they're scrolling through. But that's going to really play into needing to get likes and needing to get hashtags for your images, because the more people interact with your images, the longer your images are going to stay in people's feeds. Okay, so it's important to use hashtags and stuff, and I'll get to that, I think, in a little bit in this, but that will help your posts to stay in people's eyes, right? You want people to see your stuff, otherwise you're doing this for nothing, right? Also, that kind of leads into the next point of growing your audience. You need eyeballs, right? You need an audience to be watching your stuff, checking out what you're doing. If you don't, you're not gonna. It's all for naught, right? So one rule of thumb, though: never buy followers. Never buy followers. It's gonna mess with your audience statistics, and you're gonna kind of kick yourself in the butt later on, because you're not going to be able to run ads and do some different things through your Instagram account. You're going to really limit your ability. Plus, it makes your account look fake, and people are just kind of going to skip over you because it looks like your account's fake. Okay, so definitely want genuine followers. Okay, so How do you get an audience? How do you grow your followers? Okay, there were previously some different things you could do to copy people's followers through some different tools, but as of June 1st, Instagram changed a lot. And if you notice, they used to be blue and now they're pink. This kind of came with all of those changes. You can no longer use some of the different apps like Crowdfire and Status Brew to copy the followers of leaders in the industry. So like you could have previously copied like people who follow Zig Ziglar's official account or Eric Worre's official account. You could copy their followers. Well, that's no longer an option, but you can still follow people based on hashtags. So you can actually search, so hashtag MLM, hashtag make money from home, hashtag work from home, you know, excuse me, anything like that, or hashtag alkaline, you know, whatever. And you can follow people who are using those specific hashtags, okay? And then you can give them a day or two to reciprocate the follow back. And if they don't, you just unfollow them, okay? You can unfollow still using Crowdfire, which is a free app. Status Brew is what we use. It's not that it is now paid. It used to be free. But it's no longer that useful for just Instagram, but it is worth Twitter as well. Because of the following and unfollowing for Twitter functionality. So it's worth it if you're doing Twitter to do Status Brew. Otherwise, just grab that Crowdfire app for free, and then you can unfollow folks that haven't followed you back. Now, how I've done that on my accounts in the past when I'm really working on growing them manually is I start off every week and I unfollow everybody that I followed the week before who hasn't followed me back. Now, Instagram has some limits. They only let you do about 60 people at a time. And only a few times a day. So, you know, whatever that looks like, I'd probably several times throughout my day, whenever I had a few spare moments, I'd just start unfollowing people. Okay. And then at the end of Monday, halfway through Tuesday, whenever it happened that I made it through everybody that I had unfollowed, I would then start following people again for the rest of the week. And I would do that up through Friday afternoon. I would be following people. Every time I sat down at my computer, every time I had some extra time, several times a day, I would follow a handful of people. Okay, and it used to be 60 people at a time. You could do 60. Okay, so I'd follow 60 people at a time, several times a day. And then I'd cut it off on Friday afternoon because the actual interactions and views and everything on Instagram over the weekend is low. So I wanted to give people time to catch up on their accounts over the weekend. And then on Monday, if they hadn't followed me back by Monday morning, I would just start at the top of my list and start going through and unfollowing everybody who hasn't followed me back. Now, Todd and I were actually able to use that method. We could grow our Instagram by 2,000 followers a month. Okay. It's a great strategy to use, and we've used it quite effectively. Now, there are, and I'll get to this towards the end, or no, I actually have it here. Okay, so you can automate this, and especially since Instagram has a hard stop, you can only follow up to 7,500 people. So this is when we had to look at more automation and some different options. When we hit that 7,500 people to follow, we weren't able to follow anymore. So that's when we hooked up with Instagress, okay? Instagress is an awesome automation tool. It allows you to comment and like and follow and unfollow all automatically, okay? Now, it sounds too good to be true? Well, here's a word of warning. Instagram does not like automated tools. So you are taking a little risk if you use it. Especially when you have a new account. When you don't have that many followers, you don't have that many posts, you definitely want to set it on slow. And you can do some searches. When I got started with Instagress, I just searched YouTube, how to use Instagress. And I found some insights from some folks on the speeds and the settings and the different things to use on it to be safe. And that's what I did. And I think it was about $80 for an entire year of automation, which was definitely worth it for me because it saved me time. And as a busy mom, saving time is always good. And then I think it'll actually last quite a bit longer than a year based on how they break up that time. So a really great tool, and has automated it. Now we're up to, you know, over 16,000 followers. So that's really neat. All right, providing value. So with all of your posts, you should be working to gain the trust and rapport of your audience by providing them value and content that they're looking for. So if you're looking to speak to entrepreneurs, you know, success quotes are a super easy, awesome thing to post, right? People who are entrepreneurs, Zig Ziglar quotes, that kind of stuff. They just eat it up, right? That speaks really highly to entrepreneurs. Tips on marketing. You guys are going to Tactical Tuesday trainings, right? You have access to great marketing training. Take some notes, throw it in a little tip. And I'll show you an example of some of my posts, but I do a tip of the day. And every 4 to 5 posts, I have a tip on marketing. Okay. And so, you've got a lot of content that we've provided, that the PLP team has provided in your back office. So whenever you're consuming training, you should be taking some notes and then make a couple little bullet points for yourself that you can throw into a post. And you can do that on Facebook, you can do it on Instagram. And what's cool is you can hook your Instagram to your Facebook account. You can hook it up to your personal, or you can hook it up to your fan page. So you can always be pushing your post from Instagram to your fan page or to your personal page, and you can start having some good content out there, to draw people to you on both platforms, which is really neat. Okay, so every once in a while, whenever you're doing a post, I do it every 5 posts or so. I actually point people to click on the link in my bio. Now, if you do this too much, people are going to become deaf to it. So you don't want to do this every single post, tell them to click on your bio link, because they're just not going to listen anymore. But if you do it, say, every 5 posts or so, tell them to click on the link in your bio, it's effective. So with our entrepreneur branded account, right? I give a marketing tip every 5 posts. I give them a tip, and then I say, struggling to, getting likes and comments on Instagram, but not signups and sales. Check out our free training. Just click the link in our for free Instagram training in our bio link. So they click that, they get the training, I get a lead, and then I get to call them up and see if they're open to taking a look at our opportunity. So on our consumer-based, our customer-based account, I'm instead, every 5 posts or so, I'm telling them, it's some sort of neat fact or tip or something that speaks to that niche. And then I tell them, for more information on how changing your water can change your life, make sure to click the link in our bio. Okay, so always leading with value, and then occasionally shooting, pointing out that link to people to get them to check it out. Okay. All right, following good Instagram etiquette. This is really important when you're first getting started. If someone likes some of your photos, like theirs. If someone comments on your photos, comment on one of theirs. It's very reciprocal. If they follow back. The bigger your account gets, the more you don't have to do this, and the more you can't do this, because you just can't keep up with it. It's not really feasible once this kind of gets big. So we aren't doing that at this point. However, it is important as you're getting started. Okay. All right, creating content. Always lead with values. I keep harping on this, but this is my main thing, because I don't know how many times I come across Instagram accounts and people are just pitching, and their feeds are just commercials. Well, people don't like commercials. Remember that, folks. You don't like commercials. Have good content that attracts people to you, that they're willing to have a conversation with you. They start to build that know, like, and trust factor. Okay, so you want to provide value that's going to attract people to you. Motivational quotes, tips, advice, all that kind of stuff works really well. Okay, one thing that I also have to coach people on Instagram is don't be scared to use your face. You shouldn't just be using beautiful photo, professional stock photos or anything like that. You want to mix in photos of you, right? You're the one that would be their upline and their support if they're going to join, right? So they need to know who you are. This is a big investment for them to move forward with if they're going to get joined with PLP, and they, building that know, like, and trust factor. Part of that is getting your face out there. If you hide behind these, nice stock images all the time, they're not going to know who you are, right? And that really goes against you. So mix in images of your own face, of your family, kids. People love kids. Cute kid pictures. If you got kids, use them. Animals, lifestyle, all great things to have on your accounts. Now I'll go right into, because we've had this happen. People have stolen pictures from us, and one with our son, which is creepy, and cut our website off of it. So always make sure to stamp your photos. If you have a personal website, for Todd and I, we have toddandleahray.com. So we put that on every single one of our pictures. And we've learned that we have to put that next to the content, next to the tip or next to the quote so that people can't cut it out, right? So stamp your photos. If you don't have a website, just use your username. Do the @ symbol and then your Instagram username, so that if that stuff gets re-shared by someone else, it's still going to drive traffic back to you. Okay. So with all of the posts that you're creating, always ask yourself, what's in it for them? You want to speak to your audience. Don't ever forget that. Okay. And tell people to like and comment, in your captions. It helps with engagement. Now, hashtags help you get engagement. Okay. So what I like to do is actually not put it in my post, my initial caption of my post, but I'll do it in like the first or second comment on my post. And I actually have a OneNote, or if you use Mac, it's called Evernote, set up for Instagram. And I've got different hashtags just in there grouped together. And so I'll post my stuff throughout the day, and then a couple hours later, before I go to bed at night or whatever, I'll just go in and I'll copy a group of hashtags and I'll paste it into my posts. So really easy to do. And then you can get engagement, because if you're not getting engagement on your post, if you're not getting likes, if you're not getting comments, you're not going to be in people's news feeds. And that's what you need in order to get eyeballs on your stuff. That's a really important change that came June 1st of this year. Okay, creating content. Like I kind of talked about this before, but I really highly suggest being specific with your audience, choosing product users or business builders with each account. You can have multiple accounts if you choose. I wouldn't start with multiple. I'd start with one, get it down, have a good day, be consistent with your daily method of operations, get some results before you add any more to your plate. But you can have multiple accounts with Instagram. So you could have one for products, you can have one for business builders. But, ask yourself, what do those people, who is your target audience, your perfect prospect, your perfect client or customer, and what do they want to know about, right? And that's what you give them. Okay. So what kind of information do they find valuable? And by giving them good stuff, it really helps to build that know, like, and trust factor, and helps, and using your personality and your images and all of that helps them to feel like they know you. Okay. All right. Speaking, some examples. Now, see, these are some posts from our two different accounts. So this top one is speaking to entrepreneurs, right? So a tip of the day, always, always, always lead with value. People hate commercials. Okay. So on my caption for this one, this was my 1 in every 5 posts, where I actually point them to click on the link in my bio for a free training on Instagram. Okay. So, and I speak to their pain, because in marketing, if you speak to pain, it's always more effective. So, tired of getting likes and comments, but no sales or signups on Instagram, or from your efforts on Instagram, click the link in my bio for a free training on Instagram. So that's what the caption that I had on that tip of the day post. But the rest of them, they're just great quotes, right? And I'll give you guys the app that I created this with. It's on the last slide here. But some of, like, these two, this one and this one, the first and third, those are just stock photos, right? But I mixed in one that I took a picture with someone on my team at a recent conference that I was at. And it just fit really well with the quote. So I just plopped that in there, and it's getting my face out there. It's showing a bit of my personality, helps people to feel like they know me. Okay. All right. The second one here, these are some posts that I did from for my customers. Okay, for my customer-based account. Now, some of these, like a Jim Rohn quote, that's just a good general take care of your body sort of thing. But the rest of them, I actually looked up, the benefits of alkaline water. I went on our Anagic site, and I went to the benefits of Kangen water, right? How to use Kangen water, the benefits of Kangen water. There's some document on there, and I just grabbed it and I just started clipping out little tidbits, little facts that I could use and make posts with. And then I would go to online, find some cool images to stick with it, and there you go. So, all of these speak to the type of person that might be interested in our machine, right? So, health conscious, likes natural things, maybe environmentally conscious, conscious. And always trying to be visually appealing. Okay, always important. Just facts by themselves are boring, and people get bored. aren't going to stick around to pay attention. Okay, let me quick check. Sorry, guys, I have to keep jumping in and out, but I'm going to check for any comments or questions. Feel free. I'm used to doing live webinars where I interact with folks, so I apologize if this is weird. Okay, all right. So some weird stuff going on in the comments, but that's all right. Okay, also one quick note on Instagram. Direct messaging is still effective on Instagram. Okay. Now I say this because we're also on Twitter, and Twitter is super automated, and I am part of that. I have a lot of automated tools on Twitter. However, what that means on Twitter is that people aren't always responsive to actual messaging, back and forth. But Instagram, people are still responsive. Yes, there's some automated messages that go out, but in general, people, if you actually start a real conversation, it works. Okay, so not going right into a pitch like, hey, I saw you liked my comment or you liked my photo, you want to buy my product, or anything weird like that. If it smells like you're trying to sell them, people are totally turned off and they're not going to engage. But we are in a network, a relationship business. Okay, guys, so even if we're online, it comes down to building relationships. And Instagram still works for that, okay? Just like Facebook. All right, you can build relationships, and people, it works really well for communicating back and forth. And I get a lot of folks checking things out, putting in their contact information on my bio link, all kinds of stuff, just strictly through messaging. Okay, there's a lot of folks out there that are looking for something. They're looking for what we have. They just don't know it yet, and so we build up a bit of a relationship. Don't just go right in for a sale, but just have a real conversation with folks, see where they are in life, what they got going on, and how we can help them. Okay? All right. Useful tools. These are some really cool tools, guys. Crowdfire or Status Brew, like I spoke about before, that's going to help you with unfollowing your people, unfollowing people that don't follow you back. We also have Hootsuite. Now, Hootsuite is a paid subscription. I believe it's about $10 a month, but it's so worth it. So what you would do with Hootsuite, I can let me actually jump back into here and I can share with you. I'll pull up Hootsuite so you can see what that looks like. But it allows you to post to all your different social media accounts from one place. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start sharing again, but now something else. All right, so this is Hootsuite. Okay, Hootsuite.com. And this allows you to create a post, right? You have a post here, you put in some text. Now for Instagram, you can actually create an image, right? You create an image, you post it, plop it in here, and then you select the different social media accounts that you want to send it to. You just hit auto schedule and it sends them out at the peak times. It's going to get the peak interaction for you. Really helpful, really cool. So it does Twitter, it does Google Plus, LinkedIn, your Facebook personal, Facebook fan page. Someone was telling me it also does Facebook groups, which is cool, but I haven't done that much myself. But it just saves time. Saving time is awesome. I'll skip Starbucks one day. Not that I eat Starbucks, but $10 is nothing if it saves me time. Okay, so I use Hootsuite for that. And what it does, all of the other social media accounts will actually, they'll actually send directly to you, to the account, and you never see the message go out, right? You just plop it in, and at the appropriate time, it sends it out. Instagram, like I said before, Instagram is really protective to prevent automation. So it won't let them send it out for you, but what it does is you have the Hootsuite app on your phone. It gives you a notification at the right time. You just open the notification, you push a button, you push another button, and then poof, you got it's in Instagram and posted. So it's super simple. So Hootsuite, a really great tool. Let's see, what else we got here for tools? All right, Word Swag. All right, I'm gonna pull up my WordSwag app, guys. Those last few images that I made, I just learned about it a couple weeks ago. It is a paid app, but it's worth it. Okay, it's called WordSwag. It's a little blue, a teal little thing. Let's see if I can get this to show up. WordSwag. Okay, you are easily able to. It has stock photos already in it. Okay, you can grab a stock photo. Like here's a Starry Night kind of looking thing. Okay, so I grabbed a Starry Night kind of photo. I can tap on the text. So I think this app was $4.99. And it actually has quotes in it. So if you want to use success quotes, motivational quotes, anything for your account, dude, like seriously 2 minutes and you've got a great, beautiful post. Okay, so it has quotes already in it, already programmed. So you can choose classics, stay hungry, hyped, good morning, just great stuff. Okay, you just choose it. You choose the style of the font. You can go back in after you create it and add your website to stamp it or your username to stamp it. And then, honestly, guys, Instagram is awesome because if you could spend 5 minutes a day on something that gets you 5 leads a day, it's worth it, right? Even if it's just 5 leads. Some folks generate hundreds of leads a day. Most of us 5 leads can make a really big difference. Okay, so WordSwag, really cool app. Let me go back. And then Instagress. Okay, Instagress is the automated tool that allows it automates the following, the unfollowing based off of hashtags. So you program in a bunch of hashtags that you want to use. You want it to find people from. It'll follow, it'll also unfollow. It'll put comments on people's posts for you based on hashtags that they use. It will it'll like photos based on hashtags. There's just it really automates it. And I still go into Instagram, I look at stuff and that sort of thing, but I know that it's always working for me. And I'm always, I'm not going to hide the fact that if someone asks me, I'm going to tell them, yeah, it's an automated message. But it's just a great way to start conversations and keep growing your account, keep growing your audience, because that's what you need to be successful. Okay. Some great image. Let me actually just share. Let me pull up Google or Chrome here, and I'm going to share with you guys some good sites to use. Okay, some more I just thought about. Canva, canva.com, canva.com. Okay, this is an awesome site. You can tell I obviously make a lot of images here. I've got tips of the day. I've got the alkaline type stuff. But you can go in here and you can just quick create a great image. It's all free. You don't have to worry about, costing anything. You can create a nice image and be good to go. All right, you can create it in here, then I just download it, and then I pop it right into Hootsuite and send it off. Okay, just a great tool to use. You can see all the different stuff that we've done with it over time. So very cool. For images. Now, guys, you have to be cognizant of usage rights for images, okay? So obviously, if you've taken the picture, everything's good, but that's not always the case. Okay, so here's a great image site you can use. It's called Unsplash. Okay, great. I mean, look, that's a gorgeous photo. Okay, they also have Resplash. And my toddler's timer's going off. He needs his bed, so this will be wrapping up here shortly. Resplash. Oh, apparently they're down right now. Pexel is also good. We use that one. Now, some of these have free, always free stuff. Some of them have a mix of free and paid. So you just have to be aware of that when you're looking at stuff. Okay. So great images at Pexel. Flickr, also a good one. Flickr.com. This one has paid, I know, as well as free. But I always search based on free. And last resort for me is Google Images because of the usage rights, and I think a lot of people don't put that in appropriately on their images, and I never want to get in trouble. So I always try to, if I can find something free, if I can, that's definitely okay for me to use, then I'll use it. Otherwise, with Google Images, let me just pull up. So let's look for dogs, and I go to Images, and then under Search Tools, there's usage rights. Okay, label for reuse with modification, label for reuse, label for non-commercial reuse with modification. So you'd probably want labeled for reuse with modification. Okay, so that's okay for you to use these photos is what it's saying. Okay. All right, let me quick check our comments and see where we are with things. If we have any questions that I can help you guys with. Okay, Michelle, have Instagram, but not trying to get people to leave their contact information. It's really about using a capture page. What we use is we use a capture page. We offer a free training in our entrepreneur one, and then we get their information because they're opting in for our free training. It's called the lead magnet. What we do have the water demo set up on our other one, but that's kind of that one has the capture information on the back end. So that's more if they're really interested. So we don't put our main focus on that. I prefer to get their contact information on the front end, but there are a lot of different services and things you can use to do that. So, okay. All right, I'm sorry, we only have 22 on tonight, and it seems like the technical issues were a bit much for people to overcome, so I applaud you all for being on. If you guys have any questions on Instagram, hit me up on Facebook. I'm on there all the time. I am full-time in the business, and I'm supporting people constantly, helping people with their marketing and the things they got going on. So if you have questions on how to, on your account, you want me to do a review, anything like that, just reach out. I love helping people. And then with that, I think we'll probably wrap this up, and I'll get my little one to bed. So it's been a pleasure. I hope next time we can get this working so that everyone can see it. All right, you guys have a good night.